Are the wheels coming off the Trump administration? Is the honeymoon over? Was James Carville right when he told Dan Abrams this just a couple weeks ago?
I believe that this administration, in less than 30 days, in the midst of a massive collapse.
A lot of people made fun of that given how high Trump was riding just 2 weeks ago, but there are reasons to think that maybe he was onto something. Here are 5 reasons why the Trump administration should be freaking out about how things are trending right now. Number 1, it's the economy, stupid. Speaking of James Carville, his most famous line was, well, it's the economy, stupid. And on Friday, the first jobs report came out under Trump, and even though the expectations were low, it was not good news. In fact, Trump hastily put together a White House Oval Office speech to address. Look, there are a lot of economic indicators that are not trending in the way that Trump would want them to. Number 1, the stock market. It's down. And this is not something that he can just blame his previous predecessor on. The stock market is freaked out for good reason, largely because of Trump's policies, in particular one, tariffs. Consumer price index is up 3% since he took office. Now, you'll remember that inflation was a huge issue in which Trump ran on and why he got elected. In fact, he bragged about the biggest reason he won the presidency in 2024 was the price of eggs. Well, guess what? Price of eggs has not come down. In fact, it's gone up under Trump. Look, the president has very little control over the price of eggs. There are a ton of extenuating circumstances that drive that. But if you promise that egg prices are going to come down when you become president and instead they go up, people will take notice and they won't be pleased. Even crypto, the thing that he really got behind, well, that's in a bear market right now. Whether you own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, you name it, prices have come down since he took office and put together a commission and plan to make it a bigger deal. I think a lot of people bought crypto thinking that it was going to skyrocket under Trump, and just in 2 months, it's had the opposite effect. Not good. Number 2, the tariff shit show. Speaking of the economy, a major reason why the market is so unsettled and prices are going up, Trump's a big believer in adding tariffs to nations we do business with, not only rivals like China, but our biggest allies and neighbors, Canada and Mexico. Thing is, Trump's been all over the place on this controversial approach. He campaigned on it and insisted that the nation would become wealthy as a result. But it seems to have caused more problems than solutions or wealth. February 1st, he ordered 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, as well as 10% increase on tariffs from China. Then 2 days later, on February 3rd, Trump announced a 1-month pause on tariffs to Canada and Mexico after reaching agreement with each country that included commitments to bolster border enforcement. Okay, negotiation strategy. I'll take it. Then on March 4th, about a month later, tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada took effect, and a trade war sort of blew up nearly instantly, and the markets tanked. The next day, March 5th, Trump ordered a 1-month delay of auto tariffs after a request from the big 3 U.S. automakers. So who's to blame for the near record market volatility under Trump? Look no further than Trump himself. It's begging a lot of questions. In fact, from even some of Trump's most long-term supporters who are asking, where's the consistency and clarity? More on that later. Number 3, Elon Musk and Doge. There's been no White House figure more controversial than the world's wealthiest man, Elon Musk, who gave the Trump campaign nearly $300 million and seemingly was rewarded with the keys to the government, or at least the passwords to all the government agencies' computer systems. Of course, he was named the leader of Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, but not the real leader, per the White House, curiously. But either way, he ran roughshod, cutting congressionally approved programs in a manner that seems to fall outside constitutional framework. Musk was so brazen that he took to X and bragged about running the USAID agency through the wood chipper over the weekend. Weeks later, he was given a chainsaw for bureaucracy during an appearance at CPAC. But there was real frustration with Musk overstepping his bounds, and it even seeped into Republican officials. And Musk's polling numbers tanked as a result, given his bizarre behavior that freaked a lot of people out. So what did Trump do? He made clear via social media post that he directed Musk to use a scalpel and not a hatchet, which a lot of people saw as a clear check on Musk, and an admission that the Musk's unfettered access was a weirdo behavior had gone too far. And who's responsible for that? Well, you got to look at the commander-in-chief. It's not a good look for Trump. Number 4, foreign policy, or in particular, Russia versus Ukraine. Perhaps the most historic moment thus far in the second Trump administration happened in the Oval Office about a week ago when Trump and VP J.D. Vance openly took the side of Russian President Vladimir Putin and mocked. It was a stunning moment where it appears like the U.S. was turning its back on a longtime ally and democratic nation that was victim to Putin's illegal invasion and war crimes that led to the deaths of thousands of innocent civilians. Perhaps feeling emboldened by this cozy relationship, Putin launched a massive missile strike against Ukraine just recently, which led Trump to threaten large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs against Russia, which honestly no one saw coming. Now, you might recall that during the campaign, Trump bragged about ending the Ukraine-Russia war on day one of his administration. Not only has that not happened, but it seems that things have gotten much worse there. And a bigger deal, the United States standing as a superpower, an entity that stands by the little guy, the democracies, in the face of dictators who are expanding and annexing their country and killing their innocents, those days are over. It's the end of American exceptionalism as we typically define it under Trump. And that's not going to play well for a lot of people. Number 5, and this is a big one, traditionally pro-Trump media are starting to ask tough questions if this whole thing is working out. Like I said, this might be the biggest deal of them all. Trump's power has been wrapped up in a very strong, conservative, pro-Trump, MAGA political media ecosystem. Best exemplified by Fox News hosts who seem to work hand in glove with the Trump administration. But in just the past few days, we've started to see the wheels come off and cracks emerge in that once cozy relationship. Take Maria Bartiromo, who once famously said that according to her intel source, Trump actually won the 2020 election. He didn't. During a recent interview in the White House, which is set to air on Sunday, she confronted Trump over this crazy flip-flop on tariffs.
But I think CEOs want to see predictability. They say, look, I have to speak with shareholders. I've got to make plans for CapEx spending. I can't if it's 20% one day and then it's off for a month and it's 25%.
Yeah.
So can you give us a sense of whether or not we are going to get clarity for the business community?
Well, I think so. But, the tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up. And, I don't know if it's predictability. I think
so that's not clarity.
No.
She interrupted Trump on that. That's not something you typically see, and it reflects deeper concern and frustration, especially from the financial industry that Bartiromo loves to represent. Another example, as the markets continue to tank under Trump's tariff waffling, Fox Business's Charles Payne had this to say about the future of the American economy.
A couple of days ago, Bank of America came out with their credit card data, and it was scary. I mean, a shocking declines in restaurants, airlines, lodging. Just look at the most recent poll on people who say they're going to go traveling in the next few months. It has plunged. I think the boom times are over. All the free money has been spent.
Rupert Murdoch, powerful conservative media voice. He runs 2 newspapers, the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal. Each of them, though for different reasons, have just been hammering Trump over foreign policy, economic policy, tariffs, what have you. When the 2 most powerful voices in conservative newspaper world are coming out against you, that's not a good place to be if you're President Trump. If Trump loses his support in mainstream conservative media, things will start to fall apart pretty quickly. Maybe James Carville was right. Maybe Trump will right the ship and pivot. But there are real reasons for the Trump administration to be deeply concerned about how things are trending right now. Please click the like and subscribe button for more videos like this. I'm Mediaite founding editor Colby Hall. Thanks for watching.